Starting with our crossed ankle genie arm position, we lower ourselves down onto the mat. We'll set our feet down, shoulder distance apart, arms reach long, and slowly start to roll our spine all the way down. Setting our fingertips right over top of the shoulders, we find our exhale, find a lift of the head, neck, and shoulders, and then slow, controlled lower back down. We want to find that exhale and engagement through the core every time we lift, and inhale to lower the head, neck, and shoulders, making sure the chin stays out of our chest as we find it. Holding up, we start to find an extension of one arm over top of our head and then pulling it back to that starting position. We're alternating arms here, staying in that upper contraction as much as your body is going to hold for. And then we'll start to bring the arm back over top once we're even through both sides. And finishing off with our last one. Here we'll take our arms open out to a T position and then bring those hands back in front of the chest. As we do so, we're going to find that deeper lift of the head, neck, and shoulders. Finding that deeper exhale. Inhale, open through the arms. Exhale, lift and find that deeper contraction. Finding those abs connecting, spine is all staying in that either imprinted spine or neutral, whatever we can hold. Now, next time those hands come in front of you, you're going to lift those legs back up to tabletop. We're going to start with tiny little pulses further into your upper contraction, and then we'll rest those arms down by our sides. Keeping those legs in tabletop, we're going to take it into our single leg alternating toe tap. So as we find our toe taps, we're making sure where that movement is coming from the hip and not the knee. Knee is staying at that 90-degree angle. We're doing our best to keep that spine in neutral or imprint, whichever we can control. We're making sure our toes are not lowering down to where we touch the floor and lose the connection through our abdomen. We can take it into double leg taps, toe taps, if that feels like a better fit. You can also stay in that single leg if that is the better option. Arms can also come into a bent elbow robot arm or straight arm position over top. And then we'll rest the feet down. From there, we're going to take our right hand, take it into that robot arm, press that right hand into your right thigh as it's holding up into tabletop. So we have connection already happening through that right oblique. Left hand's going to come behind the head to support it, and then our left leg's going to extend out and long, and then we use the exhale to pull that left knee back into return back to tabletop. We can take it into a straight leg lift and lower if that feels acceptable or doable for our body. Finding the range where the pelvis is staying still and still keeping that connection through the right side. Your hands pressing into the thigh, the right thigh's pulsing into the right hand. And then from there, we're going to switch sides. Right hand comes behind the head. We connect through the left side of our body. And then right leg starts with that bend and extend, taking it out nice and long out to the angle, and then pulling the knee back in. Still keeping the connection through that left hip flexor and tricep through the left side to keep obliques working. We find that smaller straight leg lift and lower through the right side, still holding through the left. Can take it into tiny little pulses for our final piece. And then we pull those knees back into tabletop. We're going to take a quick break, rest the head, neck, and shoulders down. The arms can come up to the ceiling. They can stay behind the head if that's a good fit. We're going to find our double leg lower and lift. So both legs going up, we inhale down, we exhale to pull those legs back over top of you. I like to point on the way down and flex on the way up. You do what feels best for you. We're staying in the range where that spine is staying still. That is the biggest piece here. Making sure we're connected into the core, that it is not our pelvis tilting back and forth, that it is movement from those hip flexors, that femur bone is moving. So we're staying connected through the core. The pelvis stays neutral while we move through the thighs. All right. And then we're going to set ourselves up for the final little piece here. We finish off with a nice little teaser up. So I'm starting with my hands and feet just floating off. Use that big exhale, round the spine all the way up to the top. We cross our ankles at the top, cross those arms into that genie, and then shift the weight and stand.